Hey guys, so another crazy tennis nerd guy here. Happy to join your video, happy to have a hit. It was fun. It's always fun when people come to Marbella in Spain and play tennis with me. I always enjoy it. And we obviously talk a lot about rackets.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty funny when two tennis nerdy people combine. It's like a little meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll show what you have in your bag. I'll show what I have in my bag and kind of go from there.
There's always different stuff. Like, so you usually bring the rackets you test, and today we had a lot of rackets that we cannot show for reasons of like they're going to be released later on.
Yeah.
And you don't want to screw the brands up because they plan a lot of marketing and they do a lot of work behind their campaigns. You don't want to screw it up for them. But I have one racket I'm playing with as a kind of flirting with it because I think it's a fun racket. I've had it for years and it's like old classic. And then I have kind of my standard like match or reset racket where you feel like you want to go back home.
Exactly.
So I'll get them.
Yeah.
What I brought today to the court was the Pro Stock. This is looks like a Prestige MP, the UTIC iteration, and it's not really. It's a PT57A. That's a Head Pro Tour 630 or 280 if you're in North America. Kretten, Tommy Haas, Andy Murray, so many pro players also today, like Ilya Ivashka uses it. You have Aslan Karatsev playing with this racket. It's a feel prestige kind of touch control racket. You don't get any power for free, but if you just want to dial in your strokes and you're playing maybe on a fast court or something where you just want to feel like you are in 100% control, this is the racket I bring. I have 3 of these, really love them, but it's not going to give you anything for free. I'm not really the player to use it, but I do love it. So it's about having fun after all. And then I have this as a guilty pleasure. It's the first generation of the Aero Pro Drive. It's the original edition, as we call it. It's what Rafa uses underneath all these different types of paint. And it's just maybe the best Aero. I do like 2023, can really recommend that one. Outside that one, this one is great because it has a really nice crisp feel and very stable, gives you more control than later generations of Aero Pro Drive and Pure Aero because it has a little bit of a denser pattern. So although these 2 rackets are very, very different, I do really enjoy playing with them. And if I want more power, I go here. If I want to have touch and feel and control, I go here. So I can switch it up a bit. That's the craziness of being a tennis nerd.
Yeah, so I've got the Pure Strike, which is soon to be the old Pure Strike. That's kind of why I brought it to Europe. I wanted to test this before the next one that I can't show you comes out. But yeah, he was just briefly talking about the PT57A. Some of you have maybe noticed this in my videos. I make a lot of references to the Pro Tour 280. That's the Pro Stock version of that racket, pretty much, I think.
Yep, 100%.
So yeah, a lot of times I'll talk about great feel in a racket, and I'll always talk about how the Pro Tour 280 is kind of the best feeling racket I've ever tried. So yeah, that's that right there. The Pure Strike, I don't know. I had a lot of fun playtesting it right now.
It's a great stick still, and it's been a kind of. It's not Babala's bestseller by any means because they have Aero and Drive that are such popular icons in the game, but it's still a very good racket if you want more control, but you still want a bit more pop than you get from these typical Prestiges or kind of pro staffs that you have on the other brands.
Yeah, I mean, we were just hitting, and I do love playing with like a Blade or a Prestige or something, but Jonas was talking about how I was playing really well with this because it gives you a lot more for free than those rackets, a lot more power. There's quite a bit of swing weight in the strike. I was sleeping on this racket for the past, it's been 4 years that it's out, so it's not as hyped as it was anymore, but really nice stick. Can't really talk about the update, but should be good. So yeah.
So the Pure Strike, that's kind of like could be a possible switch. But what are you using today? Like if you're not now in Spain traveling around, you're in Canada. What are you playing with? The Gravity? Or?
So obviously, like we're testing rackets all the time. So I don't get the chance to go back to like one racket that much. But when I do, I know I made a video talking about how I switched to the Boom Pro. I do like playing with the Boom Pro, but I have to say, I think I'm still using my Gravity Tour if it is like a competitive environment. Every time I go back to my Gravity Tour, it just feels like home, which is what you want in your racket. Yeah, you want like all these things, spin, power, feel, they're great, but the most important thing is you feel super connected to your racket and always super solid. So that would be the one that I'm most comfortable with. I really, really like the Gravity Pro. I think it's a better version of the Tour in a lot of ways, thinner, better feel. Still just as stable because the swing weight is higher stock, but just a little bit too tough for me to swing. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Gravity line.
Yeah, it's a great racket, and there's a reason there's so many pros using it, because like the Pro in this case, because it's like has that swing weight, has that control, but a little bit more forgiveness than like this, which some pros still use, but it's getting a little bit rarer now because people are switching over to a slightly larger head size, more power, because the game is just speeding up everywhere. But when you're a rec player, in my opinion, You can play whatever you want. What feels good depends on how far you want to take your competition. If you want free power, you can go for more like an arrow. But if you just love playing tennis and you want to have fun, you can go for a PT 57A, a Prestige, whatever you want. So I think you have license to play with whatever you feel like. You know.
Playing with the PT or the Pro Tour 280 is always like the most fun I have playing tennis. Because I was talking about this in one of our previous videos. I was saying, I'm not really playing tennis competitively because I'm never going to go pro or anything like that. So the reason I play tennis is basically to just get great feel and just feel like I'm having fun, and that's what a racket like that gives you. It's just like tons of dopamine every time you make a shot, which is a lot of fun.
That's what it's about, yeah.
Yeah, and actually I kind of feel that with the Gravity Pro. I think it's one of the best feeling like modern player sticks right now. If we're talking about rackets that just feel kind of flexible, controlled, and just have that little addictive extra pop on contact, that's kind of how I feel when I'm playing with the Gravity Pro. I actually played with the Gravity Pro and the Pro Tour 280 side by side. They don't feel similar, but not equally good, but very close. I think Auxetic 2.0 is a nice little update actually on the Gravity Pro. So yeah, those are my rackets.
Good sticks. Yeah. So that's a little bit of a bag check. I mean, the bags constantly change, but there are some rackets that kind of tend to stick in there, and you know, my PT57A is one of those. But you know, I like my old Prestige MP, and the Aero here is a fun racket as well.
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments what rackets you have in your bag, or in Luca's comments on his channel, and make sure to follow Rackets and Runners. It's a great channel as well. And
follow
Tennis Nerd, of course.
Follow Tennis Nerd. I'm sure you do. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See you
Fun
guys.
playing with you, Luca.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.